If you have to defend yourself, do it. For real, for real. Like, it ain't about being a punk. You're not less of a man for defending yourself. Wrong is wrong, right is right. And then when it comes down to abuse, no man should put his hands on a woman. Period. Walk away. It may be hard to walk away, but walk away. She run, go grab a knife. I was like, whoa, hold on. Wait. What you on, fam? What you on? We not doing that. We not doing that. We not doing that. Put the knife down. Put the knife down. Put the knife down. I'm finna get my go. Bye. After a while, it was just like, I couldn't let it go because I really liked her. I couldn't let it go, and I think that was the most frustrating part about it is like when you like somebody and you see yourself being with them and you seeing all these possibilities, it's like you want to give it a try over and over and over again. You want to try it again, try it again, try it again. You don't want to just easily give up. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're a man, because like you hear too many times, men don't fight for this and men don't fight for that. And we seem nonchalant. We don't express our feelings. But then it's like when we do, it's not considered. It's not really like paid attention to, like, wow, he's really talking to me. You know what I'm saying? He's expressing his mind, his mental to me. He ain't yelling at me. He ain't putting his hands on me. He really trying to have a conversation. But that's not what's going on, especially when a woman is traumatized from her previous. You know what I'm saying?
What's up, beautiful people? It's your favorite light, MB. Welcome to another episode of the Conf1dence Way podcast, where we are shining light on the darkness that is domestic violence and abuse. We got 3 simple goals: educate, empower, and encourage. We're going to educate anyone who does not understand the complexities or never has experienced a domestic violence or an abusive situation, or perhaps you have and you just didn't know. We are here to empower all of our survivors to shine their light and share their story without shame, fear, guilt, or judgment. And we are here to encourage anyone who is currently suffering in silence. You are not alone. You are not crazy. Abuse is not normal. Your feelings are valid. And get this: despite how it may feel or look in this present moment, you are not stuck. There is always a way out. Now let's go ahead and get in this thing, because we got to rise above these insecurities, release the burdens of shame and guilt, and revive our God-given power, purpose, and passion the Conf1dence Way, because we about to light it up. You are in for a treat today. We got the artist extraordinaire, the photographer, the videographer, the author, the all things divine, Sir Zagon in the building. Pew, pew,
Oh,
pew,
much love,
pew.
much love, much love. What's happening?
You see, I ain't
What's
got no
going
DJ
on?
set up yet, so I can't do the noise. But it's all good.
Freaking. We in the building.
We in
Yeah.
the building. We in the building. Man, how
Yeah.
are you today?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling amazing. I'm feeling outstanding. God is good. I'm alive. You alive. We alive. We able to, what I'm saying, fulfill our purpose while we here. You know what I'm saying? And enjoy family and friends and enlighten each other and learn from one another as we go along this journey. You feel me? How you feeling? What's going on with it?
My folks know it's a great day to be alive. So
Most
I am
definitely.
here. I'm excited. I am ready. And we about to get up in this thing. Is you
Most
ready?
definitely. I'm most definitely ready on my hype. I am straight up. Especially with the behind the scenes conversation. That was lit, most definitely. So I'm ready to give the people what they need to hear.
There it
For real,
is.
for real.
There it is. Because it is, I was pulling some research up before we hopped on our call. And the statistics that are surrounding physical abuse, domestic violence when it comes to men, I think are higher than most people would even realize. So it says that 1 in 10 men experience rape, physical violence, and or stalking by a partner. And 1 in 7 men older than 18 have been victims of severe physical violence by an intimate partner. And I can just think back to like when Terry Crews came out 9, 10 years ago, when the
Yeah,
whole Me Too movement was going on, and had the courage to come out and say, yo, this has happened to me. And you're looking at this big black dude, all these muscles, all these things
yeah,
that he's got going on in his life. And a lot of people like, man, come on. Why you even, there's a lot of criticism, a lot of judgment. And it's like,
Yeah.
why are you even going to put that out there? But this is what we're doing on the Confidence Way podcast. We are
Oh,
bringing
most definitely.
awareness, and we're going to educate people, and we're going to help people understand that all these years that this has been a silent suffering thing for so many people. Domestic violence and physical abuse in an intimate relationship, it doesn't know gender, it doesn't know age, it doesn't know race, it doesn't know statistics, it doesn't know your upbringing, your background, how financially stable or unstable you are. It gets everybody.
Yeah, most definitely.
So we just here to light it up. We are here to light it up. So I'm about to
Let's
dive
light it
in.
up.
Dive in.
Oh, the real. I got the diving
I,
board.
I couldn't help myself.
Oh, the real. I got the diving board. I'm finna
Come
go ahead and put
on
on
with
my
it.
speedos and my. We finna dive in for real.
We going
Straight
in.
up.
Zagon, how
What's happening?
many domestic violent or domestic relationships have you been in that you can recall?
Let's see. Let's see. Probably one, one, and the rest of them encounters. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was one relationship, but the rest of them just okay. I thought the story was cool, and then we started jamming for a minute, and then probably 5, 6 months in, she crazy. Okay, let me leave this alone. Go about my business, but oftentimes you can't leave because that person don't want to let you go, even though they may say, get out my house, get your stuff, get out. People don't mean what they say when they're angry and frustrated. And we learn these things when we calm down. We learn these things when we relax. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, just one. One. And that one was like I was really in love. I was really in love too. And that's the crazy thing. That was my first relationship. You know what I'm saying? And it was an older woman. You know what I'm saying? She was like 3, 4 years older than me. You know, I was in my 20s. She was in her 30s. You know what I'm saying? And so, she had a daughter too. And everything was smooth. When I think about it now, I was like, yeah, I was a little bit over my head. You know what I'm saying? In that moment, I was just trying to get out of mom's house. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of, as a young man growing older, you know, when you raised by a single mother and she been working, taking care of the bills and everything, eventually when you get older, she wants you to pitch in. You know what I'm saying? And so oftentimes if you can't or she sees you trying to do other things outside what she expects you to do, is well, if you gonna do this, then you need to go get your own crib. If you gonna have a girl by my house, then y'all need to go lay up at her house. You know what I'm saying? And so we make bad choices in women when we growing up. You know what I'm saying? Because we like what we like. We want to party. We want to have fun. We want to be intimate, right? We want to be grown. But it's no fun being grown when you're not responsible. You feel what I'm saying? And that's oftentimes what leads to these things because now, okay, I move out my mama house. Okay, I move with this girl. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even know the full because these conversations are not being had. We're so in love and like each other. These conversations being had. Well, where you at in your bills? You know what I'm saying? How does your house look? You know what I'm saying? I go by the house and you really ain't got much, you know what I'm saying? But you in your 30s and you got a daughter, you know what I'm saying? And it's like I'm seeing these things, and then with my situation, yeah, I was working and going to school, so I'm thinking in my head, we plan in our head, men plan in our head, we be like, okay, all right, well, I can make something happen with this, and I could work this out. That sounds good all here, but then when you dealing with a person who's not on the same level, it don't go right. You know what I'm saying? And so oftentimes everything be good at first. We may have a little disagreements or whatnot, but ain't nothing a little sex can get us over. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like for real, if we want to be honest. And then, us smoking and, relating to each other on habits. But then, things start getting real when lights getting cut off. You know what I'm saying? Eviction notice. Like, whoa, hold on. You know what I'm saying? And then when you the type of young brother that don't even want to leave a female where she at, you got your mama telling you like you better leave her where she at and come back home. And you like, oh, moms, that's not right. You know what I'm saying? Because I done laid with this woman. You feel what I'm saying? Because mom's telling me you lay, you pay. I done laid with this woman, even though we ain't got no kids together. She got a daughter. You know what I'm saying? Even though that may not be my responsibility, still, like I involve myself with this. You know what I'm saying? So what do I do? You know what I mean? And so I made the silliest decision of my life. I ended up bringing this girl back with her daughter to my mama house. You know what I'm saying? And trying to make it happen while I'm going to school and you know what I'm saying, working a job, right? And things was kind of smooth at first until I get I'm in school working on a group project and I get a text, a Facebook message text saying saying something about one of my best friends, my female best friends, because I had a lot of female best friends, you know what I'm saying, growing up. We was just cool, none physical, none of that. But I get a text saying, yeah, I see your female best friend coming, yo, this girl coming to see you and woo, woo, woo. I said, who? And then she screenshotted me the text, and this is what I text her, and I'm like, Deja, why you text, you know what I'm saying, Deja that? You know what I'm saying? So it's like that went left, and then I stepped I stepped out of my classroom. I stepped out the classroom and literally call her on the school phone because she hey, for real. No, for real. I called her on the school and I'm just like I'm doing my best to be as calm as possible because I'm an Aries. I'm already fiery, right? And so I'm just like, all right, listen, let's talk about this. Stop hanging up the phone on me. You know what I'm saying? And she kept hanging up the phone, which started making me get loud, right? And so we got a long hallway, so my voice echoing. I'm just like, all right, let me get off this phone. I go back in class. I said, hey y'all, I got a family emergency. You know what I'm saying? We'll pick back up. Let me know what y'all on, what y'all decide, and then we can rock with that. Cause I was the group leader. And so I leave the house. I ain't got no car. I hop on the bus, right? I hop on the bus, get right off the bus. Let all it took was one bus. Get off the bus, get right off in front of the crib. I go inside the house. Instantly, I'm on business. Now, why's you hanging up the phone on me? She was so surprised. Like, she was nervous. She was scared. Like, I could see it in her face. She's like, yeah, I'm here. I'm here at the house. Now let's talk because I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not gonna raise my voice at you. None of that. So she puts her hand in my face, pushes me, and then walks out the house.
Let
And
me
that was
pause
the
right. Let me pause right there. I cannot let
yeah.
this go. We ain't gonna just ride over this speed bump like it didn't just happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think my belief is that because there's so much of this in the media
Mm-hmm.
from years and years and years that people think is normal behavior and acceptable. And I'm talking to the women who think that I can put my hands on a man in any capacity that's not loving and caring and think that it's okay. He better not put his hands on me. We at some point that cycle and that mindset has to be broken because people will do that. And I'm not saying men don't do it too, because men will do it and then turn around and play the victim. But we talking about the women today. Women
Yeah.
will do that and then turn around and play the victim if a man gets too intimidating and responds without even putting his hands on her. He could just step in her face, start breathing heavy, and then try to walk away. And so many times men try to walk away, and here come that little quack quack right behind them, tugging on stuff, pulling on stuff, and expecting him to have more self-control over himself when she's
Yeah.
not exercising self-control over herself. And a lot of people will think, well, it was just a hand in the face. That's disrespectful. I don't care. You wouldn't do it to your mom if you have a good relationship with your mom. If you have a good relationship with your dad, you wouldn't do it to your dad. If you're in the church and you have a good relationship with your pastor, you wouldn't do it to your pastor. If we can't respect the people that we claim we love, that's a sign that we don't respect ourselves.
Right.
And when disrespect happens to someone else, you're projecting the disrespect that you have and the low value that you have for yourself onto that person, and then you're expecting them not to react to your disrespect. I just had to
Right.
touch on that real quick. I didn't mean to.
For real.
We couldn't just slide over
No, that's
that
good.
because
No, for real.
it just happens so many times, and I think that this is also a reason why a lot of things that are reported by men are laughed at. Like, we expect people expect y'all to take it. And even if I am strong enough and it doesn't actually hurt me, that's still assault. That's still abuse.
Most definitely. And then she walk out the house. And then I'm just like, my mama like, don't go. And I'm like, uh-uh. I walk out right after her. And so I'm calling her name. I'm calling her name, trying to be calm because I'm not trying to get loud in public. Like, we buy a gas station, bro. Come on now. Like, come on now. Like, I just got out of school. I literally got out of school just to come and address this issue face to face. You know what I'm saying? So it won't make it seem like, oh, I really don't care, because I really do care and I want to gain and understand it, right? But because now I'm starting to see that this is what you used to. You used to these things. You know what I'm saying? Because, once, okay, so I'm walking after her, right? And then she's like, leave me alone, don't talk to me. And, woo. And then she got to being disrespectful and all that. And so um I don't know, I just pin her on the ground. I just pin her on the ground and be like, hey, I'm not finna do this with you outside. We're gonna talk like adults, and you're gonna go in this house and we're gonna talk like adults. So we go in the house. And I think she went in the house out of fear, you know what I'm saying, of me doing something to her. But that's my mind was far from that. I'm really trying to have a conversation and you're making this difficult. And I don't know why you making this difficult. I'm just trying to have a conversation, right? And so one thing led to another. We didn't actually go in the house. We started walking towards the house. Then we were just in the backyard. Then all of a sudden we went from the backyard to walking through the other block, and then we walking on the side block heading towards the park. So now we loud and the neighbors is hearing us, right? And so a little situation happened to where, she literally walking away from me, and I'm not letting it go. I'm just like, I'm not letting her walk off. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, dude, you don't know the area. None of that. Like, come on, man. Like, get off that, bro. Like, just talk. Like, you can't talk. And then, one thing led to another. The police get called. I get taken to jail. I sit in jail for a little bit. And then I get back out. And then I'm just like, this is crazy. So we end up separating for a while, and she ended up getting another crib. After a while, it was just like, I couldn't let it go because I really liked her. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't let it go, and I think that was the most frustrating part about it, is like, when you like somebody and you see yourself being with them and you seeing all these possibilities, it's like you want to give it a try over and over and over again. You want to try it again, try it again, try it again. You don't want to just easily give up. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're a man, because like you hear too many times, men don't fight for this and men don't fight for that, and we seem nonchalant, we don't express our feelings. But then it's like, when we do, it's not considered, it's not really like paid attention to, like, wow, he's really talking to me. You know what I'm saying? He's expressing his mind, his mental to me. He ain't yelling at me. He ain't putting his hands on me. He really trying to have a conversation. But that's not what's going on, especially when a woman is traumatized from her previous. You know what I'm saying? And then you still tied in with your baby daddy. So that's another thing. And then come to find out, this was odd. I don't know how this happened, but me and her baby daddy got the same birthday, and he older than both of us. So I'm just like, wow, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, the same things you probably did with him, you think I'm gonna do with you because we got the same birthday, and that's not how that works, sweetheart. You know what I'm saying? And so, my foolish self, I get back with her and end up moving over to that house. Like, for what, bro? Like, we trying to make it work. Cool. I'm still going to school. I'm almost done getting my degree, and I got another job, right? So, everything was smooth at first. Everything was just smooth at first. It was smooth. Everything was smooth. We had friends we was kicking it with, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know, for some reason. One day I came home. I had just talked to her, clocking out Cheesecake Factory. I was working at the Cheesecake Factory. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna clock out. It was late, working third shift. All right, I'm on my way home. Caught the bus home. Bam. Get home. She not in the room, but the room light on. I'm calling her like, hey, I'm finna come to the house, open the door. You know what I'm saying? She not answering her phone. I'm trying to figure out why she not answering her phone. So I get in the house, I unlock the doors and everything. I get in there. I'm looking, I'm like, why she not in the room? And I ain't say nothing. I put my stuff down and I look, her phone on the bed, but I'm just like, okay, where she at? I walk in the living room. I go in the room, her daughter room. She laying in her daughter bed. I'm like, so I didn't get her up right away. I sat in the room. This is weird. It was a weird moment for me because this is like I'm really like in tune for real, and I don't miss a thing. And it's like my when I sat down, for some reason my heart got to beating fast, my adrenaline pumping, and I'm trying to figure out why. And I hear pick up her phone. I never did this before, so I pick up the phone. I don't know the code, but I ended up doing something, and the phone unlocked. I'm like, so I'm checking messages. I don't do these types of things. I don't even care for these things, but for some reason, I'm being led to this right now. And so I check the messages, Facebook message, regular messages. She texting all kinds of dudes with naked pictures, her in the shower, all types of stuff. I'm like, I'm reading the messages, all types of stuff. She done met a dude at the hotel, met her ex at the hotel before. You know what I'm saying? All these other things. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, I feel salty. I feel stupid. I feel bad. And then I start to get angry. And then I start to get like very like I'm like I start to laugh, right? And then I start to feel psychotic when I start to laugh because I'm like, why are you laughing at something that's hurting you? You know what I'm saying? And so I go in the room and I said, hey, I said, we need to talk. We need to talk. And she came in the room. She sat on the bed. And by this time, before I woke her up, I had already copied all the messages. I already copied all the messages and sent it to my phone. So I said, "What's all this?" And I show her on her phone. She literally tried to snatch the phone ASAP from me, right? And then that let me know right there. Okay. All right. So I was like, no, 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 no. Don't try to grab the phone now. I already read the messages and everything. I said, so that's what we doing? And I gave her her phone. I was like, so that's what we on. I was like, I'm sitting here trying to make it work with you. You know what I'm saying? Love you, show you that I do care, show you that I'm not like no other guy. And this is what we on. I was like, is it because you don't trust me? You trying to get back at me for other stuff that you assume? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I never cheated on her. I never stepped out on her. Any other girl I was talking to, that been cut off. I never step into another door before I close another. You know what I'm saying? And that's the smart thing to do. Like you don't do stuff like that. But lo and behold, um, only thing she could say was I'm sorry, right? I'm like, you sorry. You sorry. Okay. So I lay down in the bed and she wraps her arm around me and her leg around me. And I'm sitting there just looking at the ceiling. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the ceiling, just thinking like, what you gonna do now? That's what I'm thinking my whole night there, right? What you gonna do now? And so after that, I'm just like, I fall asleep. I wake up the next morning to voices. I'm like, who here? So I get up and I start getting dressed. And I step in the room. It's my homeboy and his girl. We went to school together. So I'm like, you couldn't tell me we had company? And you know what I'm saying? Why is my homeboy and his girl here like they your friends? You know what I'm saying? Like you invited them over here, right? So she been telling his girl that oh he lost his job and stuff like that move. And I'm like, why is y'all even having that conversation? Like that's a conversation between me and us. That ain't got nothing to do with them. You know what I'm saying? And then his girl gonna say, well, how you gonna take care of your family if you ain't got no job? And woo, she being sarcastic, and I'm already peeping the energy, and I'm like, well, first and foremost, that's not a conversation for y'all to have. That shouldn't even be discussed because this is my girl, and we discussed that between us. Like, what y'all got to do with that? My homeboy gonna say, my dad always said when women are talking, men need to be quiet. I'm like, I'm like, what? I was like, bro, I don't know what y'all on, but this ain't that, bro. We not having this conversation in this house, period. You know what I'm saying? You already know I'm a provider. You already know I take care of my business. This shouldn't even be a discussion. So now I'm starting to get frustrated. I'm starting to get mad. I'm starting to get heated because why are we having these early in the morning too? And you didn't communicate none of this with me, none of that, right? So then she end up and she want to show out in front of them, right? And she wanted to get slick. And I said, who the F is you talking to like that? And she jumped and she said, get out my house. I was like, well, give me my ring back because I had proposed. You know what I'm saying? And when I said that, she really caught an attitude. She really got upset and got the tears and the crying and all this other stuff. I got my ring back. I threw the keys. I was like, you can have these keys. I grabbed all my stuff on the real. She was disrespectful all the way until I got out her house, and then moms came, picked me up, and then after that, I left. And she had a recording of it too, of me throwing the shoe at the door. But that wasn't nothing though. After that, like my mom told me to leave her alone, right? But I don't know. I still was like, cause it was just a simple fact. Like once again, like in my mind, like, damn, dog, why things gotta happen like that? Like, we grown as hell. Why is we acting like this? That's my mentality. Like, dude, we are adults. We are not kids. Why is we acting like this? That's my whole mindset. But I'm not thinking because once again, throughout all of that, okay, I understand she was damaged. I understand she probably still had feelings for her baby daddy. I understand that she was still arguing with his baby mamas and everything because I guess that's them the chicks that he cheated on her with, and it was just I don't know. It was just that's the energy she brought into our relationship. And me, I'm trying to prove it wrong. I'm trying to prove her wrong. Like, no, you ain't got to go through that. You ain't got to worry about this. You ain't got to worry about this. See, I go to school. I do this and I do that. And it's like it don't matter if you a good dude. It don't matter if you go to school. It don't matter if you working a job and doing your best. That don't matter when a person is damaged. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't matter when a woman doesn't do her self healing before she hops into a relationship with another guy. You know what I'm saying? And she probably don't even see. You may think you may you as a man may want to have her in your life for the rest of your life, but God will show you why you shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? And I was ignoring all the signs. I was ignoring it. I was ignoring it because I was, man, I'm gonna want to make this work. Man, I love her. I like her. I want to be with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was a fool for big booties. And yeah, anyway, straight up, like I was a fool for big booties and nice bodies. So yeah, that was my fault too. Like on the other end, you know what I'm saying? Like, but, cute face, but ugly, horrible attitude. And I needed to check that in. And so after that, it was just oh. I ended up that next morning. I ended up going over there and I climbed the balcony window, climbed through the window. Yeah, I did. I climbed through the window.
Why? What were you thinking? Well, but hold on. Let's pause for a second
Yeah, most definitely.
because that's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, it is.
That's a lot of energy. That's a lot of woo sign to unpack. So y'all went through. So the first incident where y'all are at your mom's house,
Yeah,
and then y'all separate. How long were y'all separated?
like probably like a couple months.
And
Probably like a
did
couple
you
months.
entertain anybody in that time, or were you kind of just still stuck on
I
this
was
will
still
work?
stuck on, yeah. That's what I was. See, I wasn't entertaining nobody else. I probably talked to female friends about the situation, like, what am I doing wrong? Like, to get they insight on, like, hey, what am I doing wrong? Am I forcing it? Like, what am I doing wrong? Then they like, she probably just needs some time to herself, and what's she going through? And when I tell them, like, oh, well, she got a baby daddy, she got a daughter. Yeah, how old is her daughter? Tell her, you're like, that might not be the girl for you, but if you love her, like I wouldn't just give up so easily, but give her space. You know what I'm saying? And I thought 3 months, 2 months, 2 months and a week maybe was enough, but no, because I end up going back. I end up going back, and
So you went back. You,
yeah,
I guess you approached her and was like, "Hey, I think we can make this work." Do you feel like there was
basically,
something inside of you that, outside of just trying to prove that there are better men in the world than what she's been with, that you could possibly maybe help heal her or help fix her or help bring her beyond her own trauma?
yeah, because that's where the cuz my cousins say this a lot. Cuz you Captain Say, and I'm just like, bro, why y'all say that, bro? Because you always talk to women that are damsels in distress, and I'm just like, and now I'm in the past like 7 years, right? When I recap all of this, it all stems from me watching how my mama was, you know what I'm saying? Just a single mother raising us. And the late night she cried when she was struggling. You know what I'm saying? Times where the lights was cut off. You know what I'm saying? I would get sent away with my godparents because she didn't want me in those kind of conditions. But then she'll make me feel bad about it later on when I come back home and the lights was on because she like, well, y'all left me here in the dark by myself, and I'm just like, no, you sent me away because you didn't want me to be here. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like these were the things I dealt with my mom. You know what I'm saying? She frustrated, she'll bring it home. She got an attitude. You can't talk to her yet because she needs to wind down. And even after she wind down, she's still not trying to talk. I look at my choices in women and I'm just be like, I'd be like, I was like, each one of these women reminds you of your mama in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And my auntie said it not too long ago. She's like, men tend to pick women that remind them of their mom. And I bust out laughing. It was funny, but it was like, you right, auntie. You right. Why do we do that? Because okay, yeah, we want our women to be like our mother as far as like caring, loving, nurturing. You know what I'm saying? But we don't want that yelling, complaining, nagging. We don't want all that. You know what I'm saying? Not from our woman. You know what I'm saying? Because when we come home, we want to come home to a peaceful house. When I was young, I was coming home playing the game, chilling out. You know what I'm saying? If an argument broke out, I'm just like, what's going on? Pause the game. Shouldn't have paused the game because now I'm in the midst of the argument. Should have stayed in my room. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just a lot. And so just dealing with that situation and Me realizing like, bro, you shouldn't even went back. You shouldn't even went back. You shouldn't even went back. Because when I went back and climbed through the balcony, she overreacted. I'll say she overreacted. She probably was just scared on the real, like, why'd you climbing through the window? You finna come kill me. And I wasn't even on that, right? So I'm like, so we done talking for real. That's what you want. That's what we doing. You know what I'm saying?
And
And she was,
next day, this is the next day after you
this
left.
the next day after I left.
Did you even go to the front door?
No, it wasn't no front door. It was a duplex, so I had to go through the side door,
Oh,
but
okay.
couldn't even go through the side door. I just climbed through the balcony window on the roof, and so I did that, and it startled her. I know it did, and she was looking. And I was like, "That's what we on. That's what we doing." You know what I'm saying? Like we putting people in our business and all types of stuff. Like why we can't handle this like adults? You know what I'm saying? And it was foolish to try to reason with her at that moment early in the morning, you know what I'm saying? Like, because yeah, now I'm looking at it from this perspective. I'm like, yeah, that was kind of foolish. I scared her. You know what I'm saying? I scared her. I made her nervous. She didn't know what I was gonna do. You know what I'm saying? I'm asking for the key, all types of stuff, right? And so the police get called.
Neighbors or
Police,
somebody call the police? Or did she call the
no,
police?
no, it was a white dude that came pick her up from work. White dude that come pick her up from work, right? He called the police. So I'm long gone at this moment, but I double back around. So they like they're like, show me your hands. And I'm like, Emerald, this what we own, that's what you want to do. So they arrest me, right? But they didn't put me in the car. I'm calm. I'm calm as can be, right? They feeling my chest. They're like, they look at each other like she over there crying and all loud, and you know what I'm saying? And I'm just sitting there chilling, shaking my head. They like, bro, what's going on? For real, for real. I was like, man, me and my girl just broke up yesterday. I just got my ring back from her. You know what I'm saying? We had a bad breakup. This ain't the first time we ain't broke up. I run them down the whole thing. Like, I climbed through the balcony window. You know what I'm saying? I probably started her or whatnot just to try to reason with her again. And this is what happened. You know what I'm saying? And it was foolish of me to climb through her window like that. I could have rung the doorbell and I could go. But I ain't want to do all that. Like, she probably wouldn't even open the door for me type shit. So I just really forced it, right? And so they end up letting me go
What
because
was their
they understood.
response to you? When you told them, when you gave them the rundown, what was their response?
They was like, one, the cop said, I understand, bro. I understand we get a lot of these, but I understand. I get it. He's like, your best bet is to leave her alone. That was the advice he gave me. But that's not the first time I heard it. So with a cop telling me this for the third or fourth time from everybody else telling me leave her alone and the cop telling me leave her alone, I'm like, all right, leave her alone. You know what I'm saying? And I left her alone after that. After that, I left her alone. I ain't contact her. I ain't reach out to her. None of that. I was messed up about it for a minute though. I was real messed up about it for a minute. Like I was messed up about it. Straight up. I ended up getting my degree still. You know what I'm saying? My associate's degree. I ended up graduating from college still. But I still was messed up about it. And that's what I think that's what in the midst of all of that, I was recording music. I ended up doing poetry for the first time in my life. I ended up doing poetry. And I was making it I made a name for myself. I really did. And I think that was an issue between us too. Cause the time where I went back before we broke up again and I climbed through the balcony, right? That was an issue too. Like she thought my staying out late was me being with other women. And I'm just like, no, I'm on stage. And if you were to come with me, you'll see. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really got, I'm a writer. So when I had the opportunity to really do poetry on stage for the first time, like I felt like my life took a whole different turn because I kept going and I kept going and I kept getting colder and I kept getting colder and I kept getting colder. And I went from being just a poet on the open mic to actually hosting the shows. So it was just my life really started changing. I'm meeting different people. It was a whole bunch for me. And no, she didn't like that because for her, that meant, oh, well, it's another female around. And that's not even what's going on. You know what I'm saying? But when you already got it made up in your mind, that's what it is. And you acting off of that, the damage is done. I can't convince you no more because you didn't do what you did already without even talking to me first and really consulting with me first. You know what I'm saying? Like you trust in everything else except me. And I'm trying to figure out how. But then I know how because that's what you've been through. We live and we learn. Of course, we all wish that we could go back in time and change things, but everything happened for a reason. We live and we learn. And the lesson is when a person don't want to be with you no more, walk away. Let them go. Let them go. Don't keep fighting for it. I don't care if they tell you you didn't fight hard enough. I done gave you all the fight I could. Anything beyond that is abuse. Straight up. Straight up. Because I'm going to be abusing myself and then I'm going to let you abuse me. So now where we stand at, this is not going to work. You know what I'm saying? And that's for the message. That's a message to the fellas out there. If you in love or call yourself in love with a chick, first and foremost, man, let's get something straight. Love yourself, bro. Keep God first. You know what I'm saying? If you on the righteous path with God in the beginning, stay there. I don't care how much they call you a punk. I don't care how much they mock you. They're going to do that just to get a reaction out of you. But stand on your 10 and let God fight your battles. Because guess what? You fight the battle and you gonna win, but you gonna lose. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? You gonna win the battle because you're strong physically and all that, but you gonna lose because honestly, you know better than that. And you got morals and values and you see yourself going somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So it's just when it's time to let go, let go. It be hard, it's not easy because you got a heart. I feel like people who don't have a heart just nonchalant like that, just oh whatever, I'm going about my business because they never was in it in the first place. You know what I'm saying? But when you really love somebody, you know what I'm saying? If you really love somebody, after you done watering and shedding sunlight and you still seeing the flower die, don't pluck up that flower. Leave it there and let the environment do its work. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the only thing we can do. And then after that relationship, I had encounters with certain females I would just meet like randomly, and then I tell them all automatically like I ain't looking for no relationship. You know what I'm saying? We could be cool, but I ain't looking for no relationship. Then the friendship turns into intimacy, right? And then I'm probably spending the night there, keeping my stuff by her crib, but I'm not staying there. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm smart now. Learned from my last situation. And now I got a truck. Now I got a truck. So now I'm driving and I'm moving and grooving. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I go. It was just one particular chick I met at Walmart. It was cool. Everything was good. I was a little hustle man at the time. I was in the streets then. And then everything was smooth. We ended up getting a crib. And then I pick her up from work. I think I was late, like probably 5 minutes late. And I could tell when I picked her up, she was mad about it, but she didn't say nothing because we had people in the car. So I was dropping them off first. And then we was heading to the crib. So then I dropped them off. We headed to the crib. So as soon as they got out the car, as soon as they got out the car, she's spazzing. What? She like, woo. And I'm sitting there like, we're gonna wait until we get to the crib to talk about this because I'm driving. And I see here you go want to be Mr. Funny Man. I was like, I'm literally not trying to be funny. I just want to focus on the road and get us home safely. And then we can talk about this. I got weed at the crib. We can roll up. I can smoke. And we can chop it up. You know what I'm saying? So we get to the crib. I'm laughing loud because this is funny to me. Like how things be happening be funny to me because I be so cool and chill. And then they be so tough and hard. And I be like, where do they get this energy from? And it just I'm understanding now. I'm understanding now. So we get to the crib. All right. I sit at the table. I pull out the weed. I bust the blood down instantly. So she in the room, spazzing, snapping. And I'm like, yeah, my bad. I'm sorry I was late. Ooh, I had to go bust this move, catch this money. Ooh, I'm rolling up. So then she literally cussing, like going ham. And I'm the way she doing it, it's like she sound like a mama yelling at her kids. So I just get to laugh at like, dog, you funny, bro. Why you gotta talk like that? She's like, you think everything funny. Since you think everything funny, get the out of my house. I was like, okay. Finish rolling the blood, grab my stuff on my life. I was bringing it towards the door. Right as soon as I brought it towards the door, she rushed the door, start swinging at me. I'm like, whoa, grab her, push her. She run, go grab a knife. I was like, whoa, hold on, wait, what you on, fam? What you on? We not doing that. We not doing that. We not doing that. Put the knife down. Put the knife down. Put the knife down. I'm finna get my and go. Bye. Let her go, right? Literally, she grabbed the knife again, swinging. I'm like, you know what? Grabbed her, knocked the knife out of her hand, start beating her face to a pulp. Start beating her face to a pulp. And yeah, after that, I didn't even run out the house. Like, I wasn't running. I grabbed my stuff and I was dragging it out the hallway like I was intended to do in the first place. I'm putting my stuff in the car. She's like, you broke my nose. And I'm like, okay, so you gonna call the ambulance, you gonna call the police. I can sit here and wait for them. What you want to do? Because you already know that wouldn't have happened if you hadn't grabbed the knife, right? She's like, you broke my nose and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, well, okay, she gonna keep going on about that. So I'm just like, well, I hop in the car. I'm like, so what you want to do? You want me to sit here? She was like, you broke my nose. I'm like, are you gonna call you want to call the ambulance? I'm gonna call the ambulance. She's like, no, don't call the ambulance. I'm like, you need to call the ambulance if your nose broke. So I called the ambulance anyway. I sat there until they got there and then I pulled off. Period. And after that, that was that. I ain't heard from her ever again. Yeah. My decisions. You know what I'm saying? My decisions. That's all I can say.
So when you look back on the incident with the girlfriend, with homegirl, and this next incident that you just mentioned, with the first one, the one that you were in a relationship with, did she ever do anything minus the time that she put her hand to your forehead? Has she ever done anything else that you consider was abusive?
Bloody my lip and then rip my shirt when she was grabbing.
How did she do that?
Well, we was in the hallway of her house, and then you know, I guess we was having an argument, and in the midst of the argument, literally, she grabbed me. I'm like, right here, she grabbed me. She's like, "You always thinking I'm playing on my life." When she did that, my lip busted on the real. And I was like, I went to the bathroom, looked at my lip, and I was like, I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? Walked off. You know what I'm saying? And just, I was like, she's like, I'm sorry, come back, come back. And I'm like, no, I'm good. And I sat there for a minute and I thought about it. I was like, and then that's when that happened when I came home. You know what I'm saying? Well, I was in the bed that day, you know what I'm saying, that morning, that night, came home, phone situation. Then after that, the next day, friends come over, talk about the job situation. She tell me to get out. I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gone. And then that day, morning, came back, climbed through the balcony. I was like, this is what we on. You know what I'm saying? So it was just, I don't know. Like for me, just being in love, thinking it was love and trying to make stuff work. Why? Simply because, let's be honest, I didn't want to go back to my mama's house. And I think that's a lot of us. You know what I'm saying? When we ain't got our own crib and the women know we ain't got our own crib. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it ain't like one's going to relationships like men not boy even when we boys, we not going into relationships pump faking. A lot of dudes do, but I know the caliber of dudes that do that. And it's not no college dude. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no dude that's focused on graduating from high school. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no ladies man that's lying. Cause ladies man keep it real. Like that's why they call us players, because we know how to keep it real. We know how to play the game. We know how to tell the truth. Let it be what it is. You mess with me, you mess with me. You don't, you don't. It's just that simple. And when you that type of guy, like some females think they could come into your life and think they can like oh yeah, he gonna be mine. You know what I'm saying? Like when I'm the one that decide if you're gonna be around forever or not. Honestly, it don't matter if you kick me out of the crib. It don't matter what you do. At the end of the day, who really took a loss? You know what I'm saying? Like who really took a loss? Now I'm back single, right? No kids. I could pretty much the field is open wide. But what am I really focused on though? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I want to settle down, have a relationship, get married, you know what I'm saying, have some beautiful babies. But I got to do my self work first. Honestly, when it comes down to my relationships with women, I could say that if I wasn't so focused on trying to prove like I can have any female I want to the fellas, while also like I really want to settle down, but I can't tell them that. It wasn't too many people on the block that was focused on getting married and settling down. They too was having their sisters beat up females that they was messing with. You know what I'm saying? They too was beating up females, slapping them in the mouth for getting disrespectful and all types of stuff. So you see these things, you know what I'm saying? And then, growing up in the house with it, you know what I'm saying? Like just seeing it at home. You know what I mean? Just seeing it at home. You know what I mean? Not to get into depth about my uh growing up, but you know, I just know that single mothers, it's a challenge to raise boys to be men. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't be the man and a woman at the same time. It's gonna conflict. And it's gonna conflict in ways that you don't want to conflict in. You know what I'm saying? Like putting your hands on your boys and trying to play fight with us. No, that's not y'all duty. That's not what y'all supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't supposed to be doing nothing that you don't want us doing around us, period. You want us to have better communication, you gotta set the standard because you mama, right? Right. So you ain't no man in the house. Just thinking about all these things and where I come from, where I grew up. Yeah, I had a loving family when my grandma was alive, but then when grandma passed away, things just was different. You know what I'm saying? And then just looking at the see, I look at everything. I look at it from all perspectives. Well, what's the type of females my cousins talk to? You know what I'm saying? How was my dad? How old was my dad? Come to find out, my dad was a young dude. My mama was the older woman. You know what I'm saying? Like he was in his 20s when I was born. She was in her 30s. You know what I'm saying? So I now I'm really starting to understand a lot too about my. I'm like, oh, so you was a young man and you didn't have nothing, and you live with my mama. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, wow. And so you know what I'm saying? Why he wasn't around? Because he put his hands on my mama. I talked to my godmother about that story. And she told me what happened, broke it down like it was yesterday. I was like, oh, okay.
But
Okay.
but when you say that, like you talked to your godmom, so you weren't around to witness it. You just
Mm-mm,
found out about it later.
I was in my mama's womb when all this stuff happened. She was pregnant with me when he did this. Yep. She didn't even know she was pregnant with me. She didn't believe him when he told her. He's like, "You pregnant?" She laughed it off like, "You tripping? I ain't pregnant. No, I'm not." And then she went to the doctor, found out she was pregnant, and she was just like, "Oh wow, I'm pregnant again." She already got my 10-year-old brother. You know what I'm saying? And if she hadn't have been my dad, me and you wouldn't be talking right now. You know what I'm saying? So uh, throughout my whole life, I'm just like, I already told my mom. I was like, dude, I don't want to be here. Who wants to be on Earth? And y'all doing all this. This what y'all do here? Oh, okay. Cool. So what can you expect out of the new generation if y'all doing all these things? All you can do is just let us be us and learn by trial and error. And then we'll learn from our mistakes like y'all did from y'all. Wrong is wrong, right is right. And then when it comes down to abuse, no man should put his hands on a woman. Period. Walk away. And even with me saying walk away, like it may be hard to walk away, but walk away. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I want to say this too. If you have to defend yourself, do it. For real, for real. Like it ain't about being a punk. You're not less of a man for defending yourself. Now, being the aggressor, that's different. Cause God don't like aggressive people. He don't like bullies at all. No matter if you male or female, he don't like bullies, period. But if you have to defend yourself, do so. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So when you think back over the instances, the physical instances in your relationships, and how, because you just said, if it comes down to it, it's better to walk away than to put your hands on somebody. But you put your hands on somebody twice. So with you being where you are now, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, when you look back on the things that transpired in your relationships when you pinned the first one down and you climbed through the window and you were following her instead of just letting it go and walking away, and then when you did to the second girl, when she had the knife, you got it away from her. Why do you think that instead of just continuing out the door after the knife was after you had gotten the knife away from her, why didn't you think, well, let me just go ahead and go, as opposed to allowing your reaction to take over and you start putting your hands in her face?
Well, no, 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 no. That's not what happened. I knocked the knife out the first time and then proceeded to walk out the door again. She picked up the knife and come at me again. That's when I pinned her to the ground and beat her face in. That's when I did that. You know what I'm saying? Like I walked away twice, and both times she came after me. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't like, oh, I was just like, well, let me go ahead. No, it was one of those. I'm trying to get the f up out of here, and she on one. Like for real, she on one. Like she wasn't slow with it. She was fast with it. Oh, yeah, she was. And so I was just like, you know what? All right, I'm done. This gotta stop. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one of those, all right, this gotta stop. Now I'm doing my best to walk away and you keep coming at me with this knife. I'm finna show you something now. Cause you playing with me, bro. For real. Like you playing with me. Like I'm not a I didn't disrespect you not one time. Just cause I'm laughing. I'm in here rolling up like it don't that's what don't click. We go off logic. We don't go off emotion. So it don't make no sense to me if I'm sitting here chill, relax, and you on some rah rah. I ain't touch you. I ain't put my hands on you. Why you feel like you could do that to me? I don't care. I'm not your other dude. I'm not the dudes that you talked to previously. I don't care if you talk to 10, 20,000 dudes and all of them let you do that. I'm not the one that's going to let you do that. I'm raised better than that and I'm grown. We grown. We not little kids. We know better. Both of us do. You know what I'm saying? And that's what needs to be understood when it comes down to men and women, period. Like we are grown. We are adults. Ain't no running and telling mama. Ain't no going to the police. We are adults. Let's handle it like adults and let's not be little kids. Let's not act like animals like we ain't got no sense. You know what I'm saying? And that's been my mindset about things. But I can't be the only one having this mindset. It's rough when you're the only one with this mindset and everybody else just like, F it, I'm gonna go ahead and do what I want to do anyway. Well, I'm finna show you what happens when you do what you want to do then. Because I'm trying and you're not acknowledging it. You're not respecting it. You're not being considerate of the fact that I'm not raising my voice. You're not being considerate of the fact that I'm sitting here quiet, letting you talk. And then when it's my turn to talk, as soon as I get a few words out, you cutting me off and saying what you got to say. I thought you was done. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of those things it didn't make no sense. It didn't make sense. And it was just like, man, when you trying to make it work, like when you really trying to make it work, yeah, everybody could say walk away, but what happens when you love a person and care for a person? You know what I'm saying? And you can see what's wrong, but they can't see what's wrong. You know what I'm saying? And you trying to help them see what's wrong by sitting down and talking to them, smoke a blunt with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's smoke this weed real quick. Why you so angry? Dang, calm down, relax. But you spazzing, you already in mode. So it's like, I don't want to say you got a mental issue, because then if I do that, then I'll be stereotyping you and making you seem like you crazy. So I give you the benefit of the doubt of, okay, you angry right now, you upset, but come on now, we could talk like adults. You see me sitting up here rolling this weed up. Why are we so angry? You know what I'm saying? Because I was 5 minutes late. We could talk about that. But for you to say, get out my house, that's extreme, bro. You know what I mean? Get out my house. Okay, cool. I'll leave. Because the last person that told me to get out their house on the real, it went, I'm recapping. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, cool. Now I'm leaving and it's a problem. That's not making no sense to me. You just told me to leave.
Do you
Now
feel
you get
like before y'all got to that point, do you feel like there were any signs prior to that night where she had a quick fuse, or you was like, I might need to slow down because she got a little temper, something isn't quite right with her? Or was it more so, I went to pick her up, I was a little late, this is the very first time I was ever late, this is the very first time she ever blew up, and now we ended the night like this?
bingo, bingo. That's why I was messed up about it. Because I'm like, dude, and then maybe it's because every time we was together, you know what I'm saying, we always around people. So she's saying hi, and we around my people. So she's saying hi and with my boys. She's saying it's all love. She's saying they show her love. You know what I'm saying? It's all cool. Everybody, we chilling. But this one time, I think it's because we got the crib. I think it's because we got the crib. I think that's what it was. It's just a simple fact we got the crib. And maybe she honestly had something else going on at the time and didn't want me being there no more. You know what I'm saying? But didn't know how to tell me. And this is maybe just assuming, you know what I'm saying? I'm just assuming at this point. You know what I'm saying? Because like, for me to come pick you up from work, and I've been picking you up from work for a while. I was just late this one time. I ain't never had you late, you know what I'm saying, before. And so I late this one time. I'm late this one time and you get an attitude, and it's like, well, shoot. I said I'm sorry. We in the crib. We finna smoke. Relax. You don't want to do that. You want to yell and catch attitude and raise your voice, and it's not making no sense. It's not
Mm-hmm.
making no sense. You was cool around my boys. I was like, you ain't act like this around my boys. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't even act like this around my dad before. Cause she had came around my dad before. You know what I'm saying?
Did you really feel like it wasn't a bluff? Like she was legit really trying to stab you?
She wasn't finna scare me. That girl wasn't trying to scare me. 2 times you pick up a knife and knock it out your hand. I'm finna leave. You see me finna leave, I'm unlocking the door. You see me finna leave, and you picked up a knife again and try to stab me.
And after that, had you ever had an encounter with anybody else that turned physical? Or was she the last person that, and you was like, okay, I can see the signs now before I even get physically involved? Because you know, like you said, it's soul ties. Once you get physically involved with someone, the ability to see clearly becomes blurred, and your ability to make better decisions about whether or not you want to pursue a relationship with them or not, it becomes blurred because you are you have tied souls, you have united your bodies. And do you feel like after that incident you were kind of more alert and you were like, okay, I'm acknowledging what I grew up in and why I might be attracted to these type of character traits in a woman, and then I know when to I know when I need to not pursue something? Had you gotten to
Yeah,
that
most
now?
definitely. Now,
I mean now, but like after that incident, was that the last one?
after that incident, yeah, that was the last one. Because every other one, I was just leaving. I was just walking away. I ain't even like it was to the point where people thought I was a pimp. You know what I'm saying? Because I would leave every time they see me. I'm dating somebody. I'm dating somebody, and then if it don't work out, I'm done. I'm dating somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't no, I'm going long term no more. It's like, let me see how you are. All right, we're gonna go out a couple places so I can see how you are in public, and then we gonna chill at my crib for a little bit. We gonna smoke, talk, have a couple conversations so I can see where your mental at, and then we gonna see how you act when you around me. You know what I'm saying? And if I don't like it, we can't do this. You know what I'm saying?
Do you feel like the decisions you made in those other two situations were led from a place of insecurity, or did you feel like, I mean, because you had mentioned in the past when you were younger, it sounded like there was some insecurity there because you were trying to fit in and people were making fun of you, but then you were trying to still stay straight and narrow. Do you feel like when you got to a point where you started having relationships that you were confident at that age, or have you kind of grown and evolved your confidence and you were kind
See,
of making decisions out of insecurity?
my confidence came off as arrogance. You know what I'm saying? It was an issue because now it's like, oh, you think you Mr. Man, huh? Like you got all these females liking your post and your see to that extent. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I ain't worried about. I never worry about no other dude because if another dude can grab your attention, then guess what? You wasn't mine in the first place. That's been my mentality. You know what I'm saying? But it was just a simple fact. Don't tell me like you with my program and then you showing me different. You know what I mean? Then what is we doing this for? Now I'm starting to feel like you using me. And then when I feel like you using me, that means you've been plotting on me for a minute to see how you can use me. You know what I'm saying? Like you try to act like you like me for real to see what makes me, you know what I'm saying, what how you could draw me in more. You know what I'm saying? And then once you got me into you, now you can really show your hand and act a fool on me because now I'm locked in with you. You know what I'm saying? To the point where, oh, we in a relationship. I ain't said we in a relationship. Now you finna start acting a fool. Now you finna start really showing your colors. You know what I'm saying? What's that term? Letting your hair down type stuff. I always said this. Females act like the dudes they've been with when they get into a new relationship. So I wasn't even in a relationship with those females. I was in a relationship that the guy with the guy they was just last week because that's who they was acting like. And then how did I figure that out? Because it was like, damn, I started paying attention. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what. Because now I'm taking everything that I experienced and I'm adding it up together. And I'm like, oh, that's why you acting like that. Because dude used to treat you like that. After all the little conversations I done had, like I done went to a lot of real men, real talk sessions. I done been to a lot of sessions at schools with, you know what I'm saying, doing like little programs for the youth, you know what I'm saying, talking to them about domestic violence and they little relationships. And I hear the stories and stuff like that, and I'd be like, All I can think about is myself. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody go through the same thing. We all go through the same thing. It's what we saw. It's what we experienced. You know what I'm saying? This don't be our character. This ain't our character because low key, if you catch us by ourselves, we chill, we relax, we not bothered. We ain't got no abuse bone in our body. But piss us off, then you gonna see. Like you can't poke a lion and think he just gonna look at you. No, he gonna hop on your. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what people gotta understand, whether it be male or female. Females got a tick button too. You can't keep messing with a female and think she not gonna snap. Now, come on now. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep picking with her, keep trying to. You know what I'm saying? She gonna snap, and if she slap you, then you deserved it because she was cool. She don't bother nobody. Like we know these things from going to school. Like we know people who don't bother nobody, and we know people who like to fuck with people. And those be the type of people that often get that for real, because you picking now. You picking. You know what I'm saying? And that's what females would do. They would pick. Oh, well, this female comment on you fucking her. Like, no, I'm not. But why is you on that? What's wrong? Let's have a conversation. Now, when I'm taking that approach, is no, we ain't gotta talk. You already gave me my answer, and I'm just like, what does that mean? Like you leaving me all confused, and I'm like, dude, I'm trying to have an honest conversation, and you not giving me that, bro. Like, where's you leaving me? Where's you leaving me? And then I know I'm not the only one that done went through this because I done had conversations with other dudes who done went through this, and I'm just like, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, what do it be? And it be the I we could go into immaturity, we could go into all of that. No, it's just the lack of self-work. It's the lack of self work. It's just the lack of self work. People don't work on themselves. People don't build their character. People don't think about the morals. They don't think about values. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't have values. A lot of people don't have morals. Period. You know what I'm saying? Some women out here don't have morals at all. They can say it's because they mama died at a young age, they mama was on drugs, all that stuff. You can blame it on your mama, you can blame it on your daddy. But at some point in time, we know right from wrong. We know what yes and no mean. We know what good and bad mean. We know what up and down is. We know how to cross the street by ourselves. At some point in time, we have to take it upon ourselves to be like, I'm an adult. I'm gonna handle it the adult way. But if we choose not to handle the adult way, what results do you think is gonna come out of it? Like, why do people be thinking peaceful results come from confusion? Peace doesn't come out of confusion. It doesn't, unless there's a war first. And then once the confusion happens, the war happens. Once the war happens, whoever win that war is what it is. And then that's when there's peace. You know what I'm saying? Because now either people got to regroup, heal, and you know what I'm saying, and then come back and do it again, or it's done, it's over with, it's peace for sure, for sure. You know what I'm saying? And I learned that in life. Like nothing's ever peaches and cream, nothing's ever sunshine and rainbows and unicorns. Nothing's ever like that. You know what I'm saying? Like we decide how that turns out. And that's all based off of our character, our level of discipline, and our level of self-work. The majority of the women I mess with, they already so the dude that was with cheated on them and beat on them and hit on them, you know what I'm saying? And instead of them like, I'm not talking to you no more, you know what I'm saying? This is over. No, you find guys like me. Tell me that you're not in a relationship. You over the dude. You tell me what the dude did, but then when I ask you what you did, I ain't do nothing. That's I'm telling you, you just don't know how many times I heard that line before. I didn't do nothing. You did something because ain't you trying to convince me that dudes just do it because we can, and that's not the story, bro. The law of cause and effect is a real thing. You did something to make him go there. Because if you hadn't did that, he wouldn't even went there. He would just be like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Let's move forward. Because that's how we are as men. We don't dwell, we don't trip on things. You find a man dwelling and tripping on things and fussing and raising his voice. We got that from our mama. We got it from mama. Only mama do this. Daddy ain't doing none of this. And if daddy is doing it because he was raised by his mama, it's simple. It's not hard mechanics. When men are raised by men, we got a certain level of discipline, a certain level of focus. We our mind, you won't even catch us with a woman until we know she's the woman for us. For real, for real. We not doing all this sexual, none of that. But when we got brothers who ain't, when we got brothers, we got older cousins who exposing us to porn, all types of stuff. We smoking, we kick. What do you think is gonna become of us? You can say, "Oh, don't show my baby that," or "He gotta be a man one day, sis," or "He gotta be a man one day, mom," or "Auntie, why he can't?" We exposed to these things, so it's like, and that's why I'm glad I'm writing the book. I'm glad we having this conversation because all around the board, you hear about domestic violence, right? And it gets to the point where ones get killed in the process. Now, when it gets to that point, we know somewhere along the line that was beyond love. Some stuff just lead to an obsession and possessiveness. You know what I'm saying? Even if a person is not married, they still feel like, oh, I own you. Hold up. Ain't no slaves in here. You don't own me. A lot of men are afraid to do this. Hey, sister, watch your words. That's not how women talk. You shouldn't even talk like that. That's not even cute. You shouldn't even say stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just certain things that women say come off like you think I'm a woman. Relax. You know what I'm saying? Like tighten that up. I'm a man. Respect me. For real, for real. Because you want me to talk to you like a woman, right? I'm not finna talk to you like the homeboys. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not the homeboy. Unless that's what you want to be. You want to be the homeboy. All right, then you get treated like the homeboy. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, no, it's you a woman, you a lady. I'm gonna treat you like that. Especially if you carry yourself like that. Of course, I'm gonna treat you how you carry yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like men always gonna treat a woman how she carry herself. If we see you drinking beer all loud and stuff like that, and then you coming up in our face, we already know what you want. But if we see you quiet and stuff like that, a gentleman gonna approach you and be like, "So you having a good time tonight? I see you over here quiet by yourself. What you got on your mind? What you thinking?" You know what I'm saying? Just to inquire. And if you like, I don't want to talk to nobody. Okay, cool. Have a nice night. Keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Don't force it. Keep it moving. But these times, it's not like that for women. It's different. It's real different. We're no more aggressive, open minded, loose lip. They gangsters now. Straight women is gangsters now. Where do they get it from? Where they getting it from? Where they getting this from? They don't even want relationships no more. Women don't even want to settle. Not all women. I ain't saying all women. But what I am saying is, like, yeah, you can have women saying, "Oh, I'm single. I ain't got no set up, set up." Because how many dudes have you dated, and none of them thought you were interesting? How many dudes you talked to? How many baby daddies you got? None of them thought to marry you. So something was wrong with them. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Okay, cool, 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 cool. All right, Facebook now. It's just something to think about when it comes down to relationship, especially when it comes down to this topic because I know a lot of people gonna go off of what they seen their mama and them go through, and they gonna turn it into a big thing. But really, let's just be honest. We all human. We got feelings. You know what I'm saying? Let's not act like we don't have feelings. You know what I'm saying? And let's not act like love is not one hell of a drug. Love can be stronger than heroin sometimes. I'm telling you, you get hooked on love, it can be stronger than heroin sometimes. I understand it. I used to think that, oh, you ain't in love. Y'all, nah, people ain't been in love before. People ain't never been in love before. For real. To where you'll die for somebody. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I felt about, you know what I'm saying, a couple women in my life. I feel like that about a couple women in my life. But then it's like, once you show me different, it's like, oh, well, the thrill is gone. Straight up. No bullshit. The thrill is gone away. So, I encourage people. I be encouraging the young people, the young brothers. I'm like, man, focus on your education. Stay educated. Focus on God, man. If you ain't got God in your life, hey, man, you need some questions answered. Come holler at me. Pull my coattail. Talk to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want y'all to repeat none of the stuff that we be doing out here or going through out here. You know what I'm saying? It's rough out here. We want to make sure y'all good. And so I do my best. I'm not perfect. I'm still learning. And I'm doing my best to let my light shine so that people can see God through me. You know what I'm saying? And not the devil through me. Because we got both within us. It's all about what we feed the most. And I tend to feed God more. You know what I'm saying? I tend to feed God more. I know that Satan is always creeping. The Bible, Paul said in the Bible, he says, every time I seek to do good or I want to do good, evil is present around me, dude. You know what I'm saying? And it's a fight. It's a struggle because you're not fighting against the physical. You're fighting against your own thinking. You know what I'm saying? And this is the fighting people. This is the thinking that people fight against. Well, what they gonna think about me if I hit that? This is a real fight. Am I pretty enough? Do I look good enough? Am I overweight? Why my mama don't like me? Why my dad don't spend time with me? Why my dad didn't raise me? Where my dad at? Who is my dad? Who is my mom? You know what I'm saying? My mom died when I was 10 years old. Or my mom died before I was born. I never got to have a connection with her, or I never got to say goodbye. Now I'm sharing with you stories that's been shared with me. You know what I'm saying? And so we all go through real life things, and it takes a toll on us. It does because we want people to hear us out. We want people to like, especially when it comes down to your mate. Like your mate, you don't know your mate, and your mate don't know you. Y'all don't know what each other been through. You know what I'm saying? And when it's only one sided, it's a challenge because you probably trying to get to know her, or she trying to get to know you, but you being too closed off and you ain't trying to let them know nothing about you. And it's like, how we gonna build a relationship and how we gonna so now when I say something and you flipping off the handle, I'm trying to figure out why you flipped off the handle. You know what I'm saying? And then I don't find it out later until we break up.
It could have been great, but it might not have been God. So a lot of times we try to force things for our own. There's something that we're designed. I mean, God created us to be in communion with other people. We're created to be a community of people and not isolated and separated. But I think what I want to like hang on to as we bring this to a close is what you said is first, there's a lot of conversations that aren't had that need to start being had. But secondly, you said, and it's very, very important, the reason we can't progress and we can't find the person or we're not in a relationship that's healthy is because we're not working on ourselves. And a lot of times people are trying to cover up what they've been through, hide their trauma, and think that they can just move past it. And we can't do that. A lot of self-work, a lot of self-assessment, a lot of self-reflection has to be had on our role in whatever we've done in our life, in the relationships in our lives. And then we have to have the intention and set the intention to change ourselves. We can't change other people, but like you said, if I can't change you and I see you not going to change and I'm working on me, the best thing I can do is walk away.
Walk away. Walk away. Cause I ain't gotta fight with you. I ain't gotta argue with you. That's your own self-work. But when we're teenagers, we don't know that because we're not having these conversations in school, at church, or in the homes. And so a lot of us got to find out through trial and error. And there's nothing wrong with that, but hopefully it don't be too late to where one's got to do life in jail because they took a life, you know?
Yeah.
This dude over here that took his girl life. Another guy over here that got his life taken by a female. You know, it's been chases through the city, females and dudes chasing each other, getting into car accidents because they don't know how to communicate. You don't know how to talk. Y'all yelling, screaming, cussing each other out. But no, you gonna listen to me, and no, fuck that rule. And it's like, that's chaos. No, 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 no. But we only get like this when we learned our lessons. You gotta learn the lessons. You can go through the lesson all day, but if you don't learn the lesson, then you go repeat the lesson.
The mic drop right there. You can go through the lesson, but if you don't learn the lesson, you're going to repeat going through the lesson. So y'all, Zayon.
Yeah, what's happening?
I appreciate you for taking the
Appreciate you too.
opportunity and your time to share your experiences, because we have to bring the conversations have to be had. And we have to be vulnerable enough and open enough to say what we've done, to say what we've experienced, and to say how we've grown from all of these things. Because if we can show growth, we're giving other people encouragement and we're showing them, hey, there is a better way. Life is better on the other side, but you got to tap into you first. And you got to understand that who you were created to be does not entertain the foolishness in the world, because you're more valuable than that. You're more important than that. And the purpose that you have in your life for this world at this time needs to be like number one. And that's what we got to chase.
Definitely.
I thank you so much. Y'all heard it here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like they gotta put that thing out there. Y'all all right? Are y'all all right?
When this book come out, I'm gonna make sure you get a copy.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Thank you
Most
so
definitely.
much.
For
I
real.
can't say it enough. So I'm just gonna say what I normally say. We out here rising above insecurities, releasing the shame of guilt, releasing the burdens of shame and guilt, and reviving our God-given power, purpose, and passion, the confidence way. Y'all know what it is. Tune in next week for another episode. We on.
Yeah. Peace, y'all.